All right, back in the Hokes Bluff Fieldhouse now with Coach Rob, and Coach, had to feel good for you you look like the entire county was out there watching you guys play last Thursday night at Southside, but to go into Southside, you knew it was going to be a hostile environment, very loud. To get a 28-7 victory over a 6A team like that, it's been really, really good over the last few years. That had to make you feel good about your program.
It did, about our kids. You work hard all summer, winter workout, go back to them, and come out there and work all summer in the heat and go out there. And we always like to say we get a paycheck, go out and play. And playing is fun, but when you win, it's more fun. But I give our players credit and my assistant coaches. I've got a great staff. You know them all. So just real pleased with the effort, and the result obviously came with that.
Coach, it's something to say when the opposing coach, as we talked to on his show Thursday about the game coming up, and he's like, this is kudos to your staff. He was like, in order to beat them, we got to beat them. They're going to be in the right place. They're coached well. We're going to have to do something to move them around. When you get that kind of persona and other opposing coaches talking about y'all are not going to beat yourself, they got to do something to execute to beat you guys. How does that make you feel about your staff and yourself? Well,
I appreciate the compliment. We say the same thing about Coach Holcomb. Coach Sexton, our defensive coordinator, all week long, we was worked on. Coach Holcomb had beaten us twice, the years before when he was coach, and he put our defense in some places we didn't want them there. And so, he's saying that. He knows what it's about coaching. But I appreciate the compliment. But, still, you put them in the right place, the kids still have to make plays, and our kids did. I thought Southside played hard, especially early there. That first quarter, they lined up, whipped us pretty good. But I give our kids credit. We kept on doing what we're supposed to do, and then things worked out.
Coach, then you turn around, you have a extra day on Friday, so it gives you a day, but then you kind of lose a day because you have a holiday there, Labor Day. So how are you preparing this week for Etowah? I know it's probably been a different schedule, but how's all that look for you?
Yes, it just messes up everything. And anybody that knows me, they have a book I had to read in my education classes about moving your cheese. I don't like my cheese moved, and so it messes up the sequence of where we practice. But we've done it in the past. We practiced Labor Day morning, give the kids the afternoon off, but we came in and did a little bit Friday. They're pretty sore. Obviously, the first game you're always more sore, but we it's an excuse if we want to use it. But Etowah is going through the same thing to the extent of Bundy being out of school. But we've had a good week so far. But I'm a little bit worried about a letdown. Etowah got beat up a little bit first game, but I know Coach Peavy well, and I'm telling you, he probably had a little gut check this week, so I'm scared to death. I'm not going to lie.
And then Coach Peavy had an off week, so it could be implementing something new.
That's a good point.
How much, and I kind of asked this to a coach earlier, you got to do a lot of reading and reacting because they've had an off week to prepare, and plus that wasn't a region game that they played, so now they're over here with going against you guys in a region matchup. Could be a totally different Etowah look.
Yeah, that's true, and both not just offensively but defensively, because we do something that the Jacksonville game that Jacksonville didn't do. They're in spread, we're in a pro I. More of a power game. So, I look for a lot of different changes. We prepared what we've seen, but we also know Coach Peavy's past, what he's done, he can do, and so he'll have a really good game plan. He always does. He's a very good coach.
Yeah, he does a really good job over there.
Yes, he does.
And y'all have a lot of good coaches in this region. A couple more questions, Coach, and we'll get you out of here. If you could assess like your offense, like you said, it was a little tough sledding at first, but then they got going, and Bryce Whitaker's always showed up and shined like he normally does, but he couldn't do it without that offensive line.
Yeah, and Bryce did a great job of saying that after the game. We had some really good holes there for him, and once he got in the secondary, then it becomes his ability. He obviously was the best player on the field the other night, but our offensive line I thought did get better, Bo, as the game went on. That was good to see. They came out with a little bit something different defensively up front with a shade eye, a nose guard, and we had to adjust to that a little bit. But once we did that, that helped our scheming a little bit more, but our guys up front finally took control of the game. And then defensively, I'm sure you want to talk about that. Yeah. Defensively, I thought as the game went on, we got a little better. We been a lot, but we ended up, our red zone defense was extremely good. I mean, we stopped them twice inside the 10. One, I think, another time inside the 20. So that was probably the difference in the game. If they put those in, you look at 28-21 or 21-21 there. So give our defensive coaches credit on that part.
And special teams, if you can touch on them a little
Well, we
bit.
made 4 extra points. Our kickoff coverage was terrible. I coached that, so I can't fire myself today. But we worked on that this week, and we're going to try to do better. But we just actually, it was too aggressive. We're just running downfield, Bo. It's just a terrible job me coaching. So we're going to improve on that. But made 4 extra points. We only had to punt once and did a good job there. Our return game was adequate. So, but kicking game early in the year is always scary, Bo. I tell you that, because we don't do it live until you play that first game. I guess that's always, do you do it live or do you not? But a lot of injuries occur on special teams. So we always stay away from live. But we're going to work on that week and try to clean that up.
Last 2 questions, and we're getting you out of here, Coach. Your guys were able to handle that crowd. That had to make you positive communication, things like that. For the most part, they handled it well.
You're right. Early in the game, I thought we did a little bit. We missed a couple of formations. A little bit my fault, a little bit players' fault. But they were having difficulty here in the huddle, believe it or not. And but that's an excuse. They've got to overcome that. That won't be the last place. But give Southside credit. Only I sad about we didn't get that gate, Bo. We needed that money. They made a ton of money. We got to have money to survive, Bo. You know that. Yeah. But we give Southside people credit. They always turn out. And I thought our crowd was pretty doggone good.
Absolutely, both sides.
Yes, it was. And I'm proud of our fans. Appreciate the support. Everybody hears this, and hopefully we can keep on keeping on, as Coach Payne used to say.
You had, standing room only on your side as well.
Sir. Yes, sir.
And then last thing is, I always like to kick it back to the coach. Talk about anything program related before we start.
Well, not really. We're staying away from injuries. We got one lineman that's got a hamstring issue, sending him to the doctor this week. Hopefully we can clear that up. But we came out pretty good on the injury part. It's a long year. It's a marathon. It's just not a sprint. But I'm real proud of our players. Just the attitude they've had all summer, Bo. I've talked about that last week, win or lose, and our coaching staff, But, we just got great support out here. From just lighting the field off. We had a big bonfire. Our cheerleaders, our band. I just, Hokes Bluff's a special place, in my heart. And people that know Hokes Bluff, you ever come to Hokes Bluff, you usually don't leave. That's an old thing. But we've got a really good situation. There are a lot of good places in this area. But I'm real proud of our community, our school, and new principal Kevin Young got his first win as an Eagle. He played here back for Coach Payne. But just real proud of the whole atmosphere. I think we showed class in winning. I think that's important. Winning sometimes will show some disrespect to the other team, but I don't think we did that. We celebrated and went our way.
That's right. Coach Principal Young, he's a good dude, man. I've known him for several years.
Yes, sir.
I love that guy.
Yes, sir.
Coach, I appreciate you sitting in with us and looking forward to seeing you again next week, God willing.
All right, thank you.
Thanks so much.